Welcome to the Chromaniacs, your weekly look inside San Diego FC and MLS. My name's Craig Elston, here with you for episode number 26 of the show, joined by my Chromaniacs, Tony Sanchez and Alex Pena. What's going on, Tony?
Well, everything's winding down in the outdoor soccer San Diego verse. Unfortunately for San Diego FC, and exit interviews happened. It's the last day of school for a lot of these players for San Diego FC. Jerseys and shirts are getting Sharpied, and see you later, or we'll see you when we see you. For some players, we'll talk about it. Alex, ¿cómo estás?
Man, I'm just a little disappointed we don't get to talk about another match, and all I can do is just hope that we're on somebody's Spotify rap under top 5 podcasts. That's my new MLS Cup now. for the end of this, for the end of the season, so just hoping we're on somebody's top 5.
I saw at least one today on social media.
Yeah.
So
one's out there.
Everyone else, throw your Chromaniacs top 5s out there for us and tag us on Instagram at the Chromaniacs. Well, it's great to be here. As Alex said, we wish we were doing it under different circumstances. I have had to be reminded of this perpetually by my phone and by my email as it continues to ping me for the discount non-refundable round-trip ticket I bought in the stands on Saturday to Fort Lauderdale. We're supposed to leave at 12 o'clock today. Didn't make the flight.
That's brutal. That is brutal. That's belief, though. That is belief. I love it.
It was probably my dumbest purchase of the year, but I've still got 3 weeks and change to take that off the board. Nonetheless, it was born out of a wild hope, a wild belief. In fact, I said it to multiple people when I saw Inter Miami go ahead 3-0, first 2-0, and then it's 2-1, then 3-1. I was like, we're gonna win. We're gonna win. Because it's just San Diego's history, their destiny. They always have to face the toughest possible final boss when they get to an end game championship scenario. And just like the 84 Tigers and the 98 Yankees and the 94 49ers, so shall be Lionel Messi and Jordi Alba and Sergio Busquets and the rest of Inter Miami FC. That's going to be our final boss. So now that they're in, obviously we're going to be in. Let me check what Priceline has to offer. Don't do that, by the way. Don't do that. Don't believe the AI robots that tell you that they will guarantee you what time your flight is going to leave or on either side of the leg. They will tell you anything you want to click the button. And then on the other side of the button, they will immediately tell you, you cannot change this. You cannot refund it. You cannot do anything. That's the deal. Hope you enjoy it. And mine was not enjoyed. So with that, we head into the show proper. Look, again, born of a wild hope. I had also texted you guys right before the game saying, we're going to do a show every day this week.
I saw that. And I was like, okay, there's a lot of travel. Maybe one of us will go in mid-flights, get some Wi-Fi in there. And I don't know if we can stream with that Wi-Fi.
We were going to figure out the logistics around it. But we were going to go every day. And then back to once a week. In fact, this is one of 3 season-ending shows for the Chromaniacs. We will take the winter break off as we hit on Thursdays, and 3 Thursdays from now is Christmas, and 4 Thursdays from now is New Year's. So obviously we'll take those days off, but we're going to dig into December, which has it's such a short off season that you can't help it. You're going to have free agency coming up. You're going to have the Champions League draw. You got a lot coming up still in this month. But as we get underway, first things first, our very quick housekeeping. Just love where all the numbers have gone. Easily our biggest show ever, Tony, the post-match show against Vancouver, which I think is over 2,500 views on YouTube already. The online, or the listening audience, I should say, the podcast listening audience has been growing and growing and growing. So for everyone who's there, whoever's watching on YouTube, if you can hit that thumbs up button, Write some cool comments down below. It's all appreciated. It really does help us out. If you're listening to the show and you can give us that 5-star rating, write a kind little written review about the program. It's going to help other MLS and San Diego FC fans find us, which obviously there's a lot of folks looking for San Diego FC content after this incredible Cinderella season. And, we're one of the few folks that are out there on the block posting every week. So everything that you and our audience can do to help bring more audience to us, we say thank you. Now, that show, that uber popular show, Alex, don't take it wrong that you weren't there. You were invited. You were definitely invited, but we did not get to hear your thoughts immediately after the 3-1 loss to Vancouver. What were your thoughts?
Oh man. Well, number one, I finally made it out of the parking lot. That was fun, but now thanks for holding down the fort again, and I appreciated all your thoughts and everything over when I listened to the post game. And man, it was just it was just a punch in the mouth. That's how I saw when I first saw the first goal go in, and I was like, okay, well, we're down 1-0, and then I saw the second one roll in, and I was like, okay, well, this is gonna be a tough thing to overcome. And and then the third one at halftime kind of sealed it, and I kind of knew, well, it's just about enjoying the moment and enjoying being there at Snapdragon for the final time. It did feel like that was going to be the fun, regardless of what was going to happen with San Diego FC. That was going to be the last time we were going to be there. And and it was, and it was just enjoying the time there, being at the Purple Lot for the last time, hanging out with with a lot of the supporters there, and realizing like it's more than just a match. It was a community event, and being like I saw some old friends of mine that were hanging out in the section I was in, and seeing all the other people that were going for the first time, and seeing this team. And I think the atmosphere was really good. Um, having a supporter be the what do you call it? The flow person. I like that, and I liked how everything was put together, and then the final thing was just enjoying the serenade at the very end of the supporter section serenading players. So that was really cool and really great to see. And it was one of those things that I kind of just wanted to be there for as long as I could, just to hang out and just realize how far we've come from you know the brand reveal to now. It's grown so much. The supporter section has grown. People are very much invested in this team, and it's gonna be impactful for year two. Like, we're gonna see a lot more supporters. I have a feeling that the first match is gonna sell out whenever those tickets get released.
Oh, yeah.
Tickets, and we're gonna get back on the train, back on this again for year two.
It's crazy thinking about that, Tony, but I would predict that we will look back 5 years from now and say, of all the things that happened, San Diego FC having the season they did, having just the joyous season that had, unless you were following closely, right? You had the Alosky move. That was kind of one dip. There was that 3-game losing streak early, but other than that, it was kind of a sun run the entire summer, all the way into fall, almost all the way into winter as well. And to, win 2 playoff series, that really could be something that 5-10 years from now, people look back and go, yeah, San Diego FC, they were building a foundation, but then they got a rocket launcher to start things off by playing as well as they did.
Yeah, and I mean, it's about the sustainability, not just in one season, it's the long term, right? Like you even highlighting that Ilowski move, like that was a long-term move by Tyler Heaps. He's saying, you know what, in the long term, it's going to be more beneficial for us to have a potential chance of a championship later on and without him. And this is going to hinder my moves moving forward. if it's going to be the way that he wants it to be. But regardless, it was a feeling that throughout the organization, throughout the front office, throughout merchandise, throughout marketing, throughout communications, throughout soccer ops, there was a belief. Everybody believed at some point, like, wow, this is actually going to happen. And it's something that you don't really see overall, because all these people are coming over from other MLS teams. All these people are coming over from other markets, other sports even. And for them to, from what I've been understanding, is like even they were shocked, like, wow, this doesn't happen in sports in general, let alone in soccer. And so for it to be such an awesome, amazing year for San Diego FC is really just a testament to the hard work that each of those individuals put in throughout the year. And whether they stepped in it or whether they did amazing work, either way, it was part of year one. This was the last first of year one is going to that game. And if you were there, hope you enjoyed it and you felt all the feelings. This was the biggest, I was thinking about it, this is the biggest game I've ever seen and witnessed live with the amount of people that were disappointed. I've never been in a stadium for soccer where so many people were disappointed, and just that feeling of like, oh, right. I've never felt that in soccer, and you can really feel the power of that. And the serenation, as we were mentioning, Alex, is incredible, and that's awesome to see. And let's see what year two holds. Let's see a lot of those people be able to come back.
Alex, all that Tony really just said there was, I've never gone to see Mexico play in the World Cup.
Correct. I've only actually seen Mexico live once, twice actually, and it was at Snapdragon for Cameroon, and then in the Gold Cup. And I was like, okay, like, I've really only been able to see games for like the last 6 years, because I was usually playing in them, and I was just having too much fun.
Wonderful. Your thoughts on that, on the springboard that this this great start provides?
Yeah, there's no doubt whether you're looking at this club, and we'll get into some of the roster decisions, but it does feel like they have a base, they have a foundation, and it doesn't feel like, you don't need to tweak too much. You can add, and definitely add some really good depth, and have another run. I mean, and there's going to be other opportunities for a trophy. That's the biggest thing about this sport that people have to realize. Yeah, there's going to be Champions Cup, Leagues Cup coming up, and an MLS Cup to try to win something. And that's going to be great once we get one of those things. And I think it's a matter of when, it's not if. It's going to happen. And yeah, it's been a great year, and for the fan base too, for just growing this thing from nothing to it's hard to say, but I think it's almost like this is MLS's one of the top teams, maybe like one of the most favorited teams out there that people kind of know, probably in the conversation with LAFC and Inter Miami and some of the others, because that's what the fan base, they made it into something that has been incredible to be a part of. I mean, from the supporter section to throughout the stadium. So it's been a great atmosphere all year long.
I'll say that one of the most un-American things you could possibly hear me say, but after experiencing the entire MLS schedule, and of course, one match still to go, MLS Cup on Saturday, I'd be fine without a playoff. I know it'll never happen. I mean, literally never.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not like saying it should be this way or it'd be better if it were this way. I'm saying that I wouldn't miss it. It's such a long season. And in the end, just think as a quick thought experiment for all the SDFC fans, if there had been no playoff, San Diego FC would have finished 4th in MLS. They would have finished 4th in the table. That's a Champions League draw, being in the top 4, which is exactly what they got. So they lived up to their regular season standing. by winning 2 playoff rounds and getting to 4th. But if they had lost in the first round, people would have thought it was a disappointing season because they finished 8th in the playoffs after finishing 4th in the regular season. And even if they had lost to the Loons, it would have been disappointing, right? So it's it does feel tacked on to me that you play for almost 9 months and then okay, well, now these are the 4 games that matter at the end. It's a tournament. And so I just wanted to underline Alex's point, Tony, I guess, that like if you get a CONCACAF Champions League Cup or you get a Leagues Cup or you get a US Open Cup, those are all cups. MLS Cup is just another cup. And the supporters, in my personal opinion, of all the silverware that San Diego FC could win, the Supporters Shield would be number 1. It would be the best, most prestigious thing that they could possibly win.
Yeah, marketing will tell you otherwise, right? Because it's the big event, the big finality to the season of playoffs, and it has to go this way. Well, no, and at the end of the day in soccer, it's silverware, right? We make fun of Alex. You like Tottenham?
Oh yeah, Tottenham.
Yeah, I got it. Chelsea. So ours trophy case a little fuller, I guess, and even that, right? Like that banter right there. Like right now, San Diego FC's trophy case has one thing. That's the Baja Cup. And then on the supporters end, it's the El Camino Real Cup that was made canon on Apple TV. So that's what San Diego FC has right now, right? Like they had a chance at the Supporters Shield. No, they had a chance at the Leagues Cup, nation, and that's kind of on the side, little brass medal on the side. But yeah, I mean, this is what the club is going to work for, and I think they're going to want to go ahead and have a special attention towards these international matches for sure. Like a Leagues Cup is one thing because that's just a disaster of a tournament.
Yeah,
it is what it is, right? But for CONCACAF Champions, there's a little bit more prestige. There's a little bit more competition even. And look, it's a Champions League. It's a chance to, if you win that, you get to play in the Club World Cup. Like, what more of a club world stage do you want? And that can be here within the next 4 years if San Diego FC is able to be as successful as they can be. So pie in the sky for sure, but it's building towards it. This is still the end of year 1. It just finished. It's still the wound is still fresh.
But I will add, let's not be like Tottenham and wait 17 years before another trophy.
So you're saying, Alex, that they should be more like Chelsea, right?
Maybe. But we're certainly San Diego FC certainly is like an Ajax though.
For sure. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love you kids pretending to care about one part of London over the other. Like
what
drawing your turf lines like, well, over here
London's
it's Chelsea blue.
Yeah, absolutely.
London. Come on. Oh, hey, and being in that part of London before, Chelsea is very upscale. Tottenham is like, you ever walk down Imperial Avenue, like heading east on the from Petco Park? Yeah, that's how Tottenham feels like.
Yeah, the copper line.
It's a little rough. Yeah, it's a little rough.
Sounds like more like my kind of spot. I don't know. I don't have a team, and every time I hear you guys talk, it makes me want to have a team less. So, just sticking and staying with where I am feels really, really good. Let's curate, Tony, some exit interview sound. We don't have to be comprehensive, but we definitely have to at least finish with Chucky, because he's the one that's probably the springboard for discussion more than anyone else on the roster. But I know Mikey talked. I know Tyler talked. Pretty much everyone talked. How long were you guys out there on exit day?
It started at 8:15 and ended around 1.
Okay.
So half a day. We didn't get all the players. There was day 1 and day 2. Some of the players were scheduled to do the exit interviews. This is a full day for the players. Everybody who's part of the squad is supposed to go ahead and do these closing protocols. They'll essentially clean out their lockers. Saw Alex Mighton with the big trash bag of just his equipment, just not indicative of anything. They literally just have to clean up, like get their stuff, their personal belongings.
Right.
from then we had Mikey Varas, we had Tyler Heaps here towards the end, but you can see because a couple of players might have said something that they not necessarily should have in that time in terms of their status with the club. And if you go through the entire thing, you can go ahead and find it. We can maybe find it here as well. But they're being spoken to by Mikey Varas, by leadership, by Tyler Heaps with plans of like, hey, you might be coming back. You might not be coming in. We might negotiate after a little bit of a break. So that's just kind of the background to what everything is here. And I likened it to that last day of school. Like everybody's taking pictures, everybody's hugging, everybody's, sharpening each other's shirts and just saying, we'll see you later. And some move on to middle school, some stay, some, just kind of those types of vibes. So do you want to start with Mikey first?
Sure, why not? We've always started with the man. The
Cool.
distant third place finisher for Coach of the Year.
Give us an overall summary of what you've seen from the club this season, what the club's was able to do, and then for you on a personal level, forming part of such a historic season for a brand new club and starting from scratch, what it meant for you to be part of this.
Yeah, I think overall we're still carrying the sting from the other night because we're really competitive people here. But if we can kind of let the dust settle and put that emotion aside, also there's an underlying feeling of pride for what we all did. We all worked really hard. We decided who we wanted to be, and we went for it with all the convictions in the world. We stayed consistent in the good times and the bad times, and we won a lot of games right off the bat, and we never gave up. And I think it's important that when I say we, that's every staff member, that's every single player, that's club leadership, that's ownership, and that's from Frontera SD, every single season ticket holder who came every single match, anybody who wears any San Diego FC gear with pride, the whole city. I think it was all of us. And I think we've laid a strong foundation with deep roots that we can rely on, not just to have the mentality to come out and try to do it again, but actually to have that mentality to improve, come back stronger, and go for more. And then on a personal level, it's just pure gratitude and pure gratitude to be fortunate enough to be a part of the city, of the region, of the club, to be on this journey with everybody, and a lot of honor that trust has been put in me to help steer the project in a good direction.
What have you been able to learn about yourself?
Maybe we could stop it there and just kind of reflect on just Mikey reflecting. Like, he got some sleep. I can tell you that much. He would look very well rested. He actually mentioned that he watched that whole game, the Vancouver game, over that same night, and he slept well. Just knowing just the effort that was put forward by his squad and his team.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mikey Vadas' first words after speaking with all the players actually that morning.
Well, my reaction is, it's really good coach speak. It's really solid. He said all the right things, strong foundation, deep roots. He mentioned every person and every fan essentially, and gave us all a share of credit for the team's success. His sadness about losing and his optimism about growing the project. And that was all great. And now I have to ask a question, which is, how long will Mikey Varas be a part of this project? Because I don't think his ambition is to not only create the foundation with deep roots, but to watch the growth of the tree. And until the right to dream branches are dropping flowers down, year after year, I think he's going to be out of here well before that. And it's just, I don't mean that in like Mikey's only in it to, as a stepping stone. Look around soccer. There are only a couple Pep Guardiolas, and even the very best get burned out and leave their post. There's always a national post that's calling like a siren song to the top club coaches that are available. There's always opportunity from a richer club that sees what you're doing and says, I want a piece of that. Let me just spend more because we've got it. Let's just spend more than someone else and recruit you to anywhere overseas. So I'm really, really curious. I've got to imagine his dreams are post 2026 US. So he's probably safe for a year, right? Like I think he's really safe for a year here. But I don't know how much more after that. I feel like after that, it could be the end of the Mikey Varas run in San Diego FC as long as he keeps succeeding and raising his profile.
Yeah, he could be on the Wilfried Nazi trajectory. He just got picked up to go to Celtic from the Columbus Crew, and he was a really great coach, outstanding. And he only spent just a couple seasons, 3 seasons with the Crew. So, yeah, I could see him, going after that U.S. Job after 26, or maybe it's somewhere outside of MLS, but I don't think he'll make a lateral MLS move. I think it'll be outside of it. But yeah, if he can prove that he can develop players and win trophies, win a trophy before he gets out, I think it's going to be a win-win because he could put that trophy on his resume and shoot up the ladder to the next job. And it's good for Mikey. And I think the thing we're probably going to miss the most is like he's such a great fit here. He is a bilingual. He is, he can mesh well with the culture. He's wearing the tribal sweatshirts and everything. He just fits so well here that yeah, it'd be great if we could lock him up for like a good 5-10 years and have him be our head coach forever. But I know that's not how this sport goes, and it's not how MLS works. There's only a couple long-term coaches, just like the head coach in Seattle. He's been there forever. And that's their second head coach, I think, or third. And yeah, so good for Mikey when it happens, but I think we'll probably see him for another couple more seasons.
So I think where the friction is going to start with Mikey and SDFC, if there is one, is the sticking to the style and the identity of Right to Dream, right? I think we've seen where if they beat by the Right to Dream march every single time, then, job well done as far as Right to Dream and the ownership is concerned. But when I do see is those layers when Mikey starts to have to improvise, whether it's game script, whether it's after a red card, whether it's just in those moments where you have to diverge from the Right to Dream style. In those moments, if he finds success and he starts thinking, hey, where Right to Dream ends and Mikey Vada starts, we're seeing a little bit of a different sort of gear that this team is actually seeing. And maybe there's a way to, if Chucky and everybody else stays, like maybe there's a way to incorporate Chucky and play around him a little bit more and incorporate him as a wild card within the style. But you're going to have to sacrifice this from the play style. I asked Mikey what he's actually looking to improve onto next year as he's going to enter year 2. And that's a big thing here. This is year 1 for a coach who has never coached adults. He's on the right track. But we still need to, I think, see a little bit of what he has to offer. So this is Mikey Vadas as to what he's going to work on for next season.
Trusting instincts is something that I really feel I've grown in terms of the feeling of going for something, your passion, going for it with everything you have relentlessly, for doing it with and for other people, and then also for learning how to let go and ride the waves that life gives you, right? Whether that's good fortune or tougher fortune and just trusting in the process. And then I think for us, it's staying true to our values in the off season in terms of continuing to be open-minded to get better. That includes me, and continue growing and to embrace competition and know that next season will provide a whole new challenge where we won't take anybody by surprise, right? Everybody will know what to expect from us. And also a great challenge for everybody to challenge that kind of relentless mindset of like, yeah, but now what? What can we do in the next step?
And having these.
Yeah. So a little bit kind of answering your question there, Craig, like, well, what's next? What are his passions? Clearly he has passions and things that he needs to work on. And whether that's worked on for the benefit of San Diego FC, for sure. But again, where does the benefit for Mikey Varas begin in that as well as an individual?
I'm like interrogating my mind, and I think that this was my favorite single season head coaching performance that I've experienced in my adult life. Like his passion, his humility, his honesty, his directness, the moves he made, his willingness to stand by his moves, the success he had, how he kept gambling younger and younger in the back line. But I think it kind of almost started with Lawfulson. You know, that's a player who could have easily been here all year. And he was kind of quickly sent back to Europe. Like, shoo, we need the spot. We've got so many young guys. We're not going to give it to you. We're gonna give these minutes to young guys, and we trust that not only are they going to develop and get better, but that we're going to be better with them out on the pitch. So, it's just really something I'm going to keep in my mind, and maybe for the rest of my life. Like Mikey Varas 2025, you know, maybe the best coaching performance that I ever saw up close, and as he said, year 2 is an entirely different animal because you walk in with the same message and they've heard it. So now everyone's got to find their own motivation. And, you know, you can't just keep upping the level because you can only go so high before you're overbearing, you know? So it's like a really, really delicate balance when all the rest of California is going, well, San Diego's going to get theirs next year. We've got something waiting for him next year, and we're going to give him a couple of presents along the way.
Man, and yeah, it's going to be a challenge, like you said, and I'm really hoping to see what's in store for year 2, Mikey Varas, because year 1 was incredible, and I don't think there was ever a time where we were here baffled by a Mikey Varas decision or anything he did. I think the only time was the Alaska decision against Chicago where he was on the bench, but then it was explained to us and they're like, okay, that makes sense. And then he was gone later that week. And that was about it. I don't think
Chucky
there was
Lozano. Oh,
Chucky Lozano a little bit.
Lozano.
Yeah,
That would
but
probably
then
be the other one.
but then it worked out. It worked out. They won like 4 in a row.
Not if you ask
After
Chucky
that.
FC. Have you guys seen Chucky FC out there in force? It's just the ending of Chucky Lozano. It's sorry to interrupt, Alex, but it's the same thing. Who are like, had Chucky started, we would have won this game. Okay, well, by that logic, and you have to follow it, if you had started Duran Ferry, the game would have ended 1-0. Right. Right. Like it's that same sort of logic. You can't have it both ways. I'm so sorry, Alex.
No,
But
you're good. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, that's the one, and we're going to get to it a little bit more later. But of all the things that this guy did so incredibly well, Mikey Varas, he did get into a 1v1 spat with the team's most notorious, highly paid, and successful player, which could have long-standing impact. Because if there's a problem between Chucky and Mikey and everything was put aside for the good of the club's not playing now. So is it truly done? Or did everyone say the right thing, but there's still a problem there? because if Chucky Lozano isn't starting for San Diego FC next season, there's a problem for San Diego FC. You can't pay what you're paying for him to be super sub, 6th man of the year, a basketball term. But you know what I'm saying, to be the super sub of the year. So with that, let's keep moving along the train. Let's do a couple more tonight. And then, you know, we've got 2 more big shows to break everything down and look ahead and everything. So like to parcel out the morsels for our holiday cheer. You know, do you guys have an advent calendar? That's kind of what we are. We're a San Diego FC content advent calendar. I'm going to,
I like
pop
that.
out some here, some more later.
All right. We do have Tyler Heaps also to, I guess, just round out the front office of this.
Sure.
Right? We didn't hear from anybody else. No Tom Penn, you know, just the soccer ops. These are the people that are making the decisions, talking to the players, letting them know their future. This is specifically talking to Tyler about next year, roster construction. Where are you going to look? There, you literally have the world to go ahead and pick a player from. And, you know, the world is pretty big. So where are you going to start, Tyler?
For you personally, in the construction of the roster for next team, obviously you have the Right to Dream network to tap into. Do you go with the short list of players that you've already had that are outside of that network and then supplement and accent the team with those players, or vice versa? What does that look like for you?
Yeah, our process is always look internal before we look external. And so we are actively trying to build that network. We have a really strong academy. FC Northland has proven that when you get those guys from West Africa, they're ready to go, and they normally go very quickly in terms of breaking into the team, but then also going for future transfers. And so we are actively having those conversations. Our Egyptian academy is only getting stronger. Our oldest age groups are getting older and older. And our Denmark academy is also very strong. So I think you saw that in the Cholos friendly, right? We have good players. So we are actively looking internally. Those conversations can be hard because this pathway hasn't existed before. So we need to prove that it works. But we're having those conversations. And so a lot of stuff that's happening internally, but we also are still doing the work externally because we need to be prepared in case any of those opportunities don't come to fruition. And yeah, we need to make sure that we have a number of players that strengthens our negotiations as well.
And where does San Diego FC right now, in your opinion, fall in that totem pole of Right to Dream, whether it's the A side, B side? Where do you see yourself in this club being on that, along with FC Northland?
Yeah, we see it as 2 A clubs, different pathways. We always tell the players that we need to find the pathway that's best for them. And normally for young players, it's opportunities and it's getting playing time. And so there may be a situation where it makes more sense to bring a center back here, for example, because we have maybe not as much depth as FC Northland has, for example, or maybe make it more sense for that center back to go there because of the injury situation. And so it's always that constant communication. It's where I think we do have a strength in numbers. I've worked for multi-ownership before, but I think our continuity and our collaboration is fantastic. So being able to have people flying back and forth and focusing on that is really important for us.
Wow, that was fascinating, because I thought he said something really, really important in there, which is that this is I don't think this is a direct quote, but maybe it was, this is a system that's never happened before, so we have to show it works. That phrase, we have to show that it works, really could be a roadmap, guys, not only this offseason, but for years to come, to say that, like, they're going to use academy transfers from the other academies, and you better hope they're good enough, you know, because they're not going to go the big money route. They're going to show that this works.
Yeah, and what's interesting for MLS is you do have those under 22 roster slots that you can easily slide in, 18, 19-year-old player from FC Northland. So there is a pathway. It all depends on the player to be like, yeah, that seems like a good way. And there have been examples, right, of a player playing in MLS for a little bit and now going over to back to Europe and being on a top club in La Liga, right? That happened to the forward Tani in with Minnesota. So if someone sees that and is all for it, then they're gonna start coming over here and be like, yeah, I can go from Northland to San Diego and out to Europe and play on my on a dream club that they want to. So I think I think that's ideal. I just hope that the players, everybody has to be like bought in to the situation. So I do hope that some of these FC Northland players do come out, because I do feel like, since this is a system and it's just almost like a plug and play, I think they'll do really well with SanDiego.FC. So I'm very excited if that whole thing comes together.
Yeah, but Tony, I more heard about a 16-year-old Ghanaian kid, coming up that's 6'3", and they might, try and experiment with at center back or at forward, and that Northland and them are fighting for that kid's services, or an Egyptian 17-year-old, and that we should really expect kids from those academies to be coming to San Diego with an opportunity to play.
Yeah, and that really taps into that global aspect of this network, where you can have many pathways in terms of, like, it's a school, right? You have different opportunities to go get an education through Right to Dream and get this, vocational practice under soccer. It's really the coolest thing ever. But if you go through the United States and go through the machine of professional sports, and you get polished in terms of media, just the way that handle the media, in order to go ahead and handle success, in order to handle long distance travels, to prepare you for then the long grueling times that you're going to face when you hopefully go to Europe. Because again, if at the end of the day, for most of these players, most soccer players would love nothing more than to represent their team in the national team. Like, that's the maximum, right? Yes, domestic success is fantastic, but for the individual, if somebody's pathway is to say, I need to go ahead and be as primed as I can be, go through this network and go into a Champions League winning team, then I'm going to come back and be a regular starter for my national team and have a chance to, depending where they're from. But I mean, this is a chance for SanDiego.FC to really cement themselves as a destination. And I think with the success that they found this year, they've done exactly that. And when he says, Tyler, that they don't have the other option than to really, have a great product, it's the reality, right? All this is owned by MLS. Everything's owned by MLS. The only thing that's individual in terms of just money coming in are ticket sales, are people going through that turnstile. And so in order to have that profit, you need to have a good product to get those tickets in, because that's the profit that the club essentially needs to make to pay off the rent for Snapdragon Stadium. So, like, this all just intertwines and connects, and it's just part of the very fascinating machine of MLS and sports of soccer in this country. And look, having Tyler be the head of that, it's good. It's really good to see that mind work.
What did he have to say about Chucky?
Chucky, actually, he wasn't necessarily asked about Chucky. He was just asked, moving forward, what is the type of attack that you're looking for, or a wish list of players that you're looking at to bolster in this team.
Oh.
So, boom, aquí va Tyler.
Towards the most in order to go ahead and bolster that.
Yeah, I think we're going through a lot. It's no secret. We had problems with injuries at right fullback, and we had problems with injuries at the 9 position. So those are probably the two focal points about one, can we get guys back fit, or do we need to go and strengthen in the window? And so those are the two main ones. I think we're pretty happy with our midfield. I think we've already gotten some guys in from a pivot standpoint, with Alejandro's making good progress to come back, hopefully in the beginning of next season. We got Pedro to kind of fill that role as well. Looking constantly to find players that could fit, but I think we've got a very healthy squad heading into next year, and we won't see a ton of turnover.
Tyler, how do you?
Also, now I remember, yes, he did mention Chucky Lozano. He says that, just like any other player, like, they'll field they'll field the offers. Negotiation and entering in that, not necessarily right now, especially because there are no offers. There are no offers for Chucky Lozano by any club at this moment, per Tyler Heap's Monday.
Right.
Monday.
Yeah. So, I mean, what does that actually mean? Would there have been offers? Why would there be offers right now? Would there be somebody beating down the door? Right? Like, I don't get. Yeah. So that's good. That's really good GM speak. We've heard some good coach speak and some good GM speak here today. But I'd also maybe kind of wrapping up this part of it, like to hear from Chucky, because what I heard was as emphatic as you could pretty much say it. I mean, he very plainly, with a very like relaxed demeanor, said, my mentality is to be here and to help this team win, and I love it here. He was very happy with San Diego FC by his own words, which of course contrasts with the situation overall. So let's hear from El Chucky.
Un gran torneo, de participar en esto que es tan bonito, el club de San Diego y todo lo que genera y la ciudad, la gente. La verdad que muy contento, muy feliz y muy agradecido de todo.
Can you tell us about what it's been like for you to be part of the season and how you qualified the season for San Diego? Yeah, I'm very happy. First and foremost, on a great tournament. It's a beautiful club. What this club was able to generate in the city. I'm very happy here with the club and with the city.
Chucky, you had mentioned at the post game that you finished with a lot of health in the season. How did you feel fitness-wise now in the end of the season?
No, la verdad que muy bien, me siento muy contento, muy feliz, físicamente me siento muy bien, gracias a Dios acabamos de la mejor manera, sin ninguna lesión y la verdad que muy feliz de todo lo que pasó.
Yeah, I feel great. Physically, we finished well without any injury, so overall, I feel great about it.
And then coming into the next season, there's been obviously decisions that are going to have to happen over the winter break, whether who's going to be part of the squad next year. Do you see yourself being part of the squad next year for San Diego FC?
Sí, claro que sí. Yo estoy con San Diego, tengo contrato, estoy muy feliz aquí. Hay que trabajar muy duro para la siguiente temporada y bueno, vamos a llegar de la mejor manera para hacer una gran temporada como la que hicimos este año.
Yeah, of course, I'm very happy here. I have a contract here with San Diego, and we have to come back and work hard next season for us to have a great season and have a great output.
There it is. I mean, what more can one guy say? He's happy here. He is happy for the city, happy with everything. He has it, like when you ask, are you going to be part of the team next year? You see, claro que sí. Yeah, of course. Of course I'm going to be here. I've got a contract and I'm really happy and we got to work hard and we got to, have a great season. So literally said all the right words.
So in starting this line of questioning, right? Like you hear his first thoughts that get started by the San Diego FC communications person. And so the reason I started with the health question actually was because I wanted to know from Chucky, do you think you could have gone 90 in this last game? Like health-wise, where are you? Like, are you fully healthy, fully fit? Like, could you have gone that full 90 in this last game? Just in terms of if this was a decision based on can he not go a full 90? He can only go 45. He's still coming back from an injury from the national team. Like he did pick up an injury. We saw him come back, and this is very like San Diego FC. They bring their players in increments. He got a last 45, he scored, but maybe he just couldn't go any further. He says yes. But then after it's just, hey, you're going to be here, man. And the charisma in Spanish that he adds, like, of course, sí, aquí estoy. Yo soy San Diego. Tengo un contrato. I'm contracted.
Yeah, that's been the going story with a lot of these players that they have a contract. And I think with Chucky, I think if we hear something in the off season, he's very vocal about these things. Like things will come out if he's unhappy. It happened in Napoli. He wasn't too thrilled about the manager there, and then you know what? He actually got over it. He got over it. They didn't transfer him. They didn't send him out anywhere, and he actually had one of the best seasons in Italy with that manager that he initially did not like. So I think these things will just I think all of this will be fine. I don't really think it's a really big deal, and I think he's telling the truth. If he says, yeah, I got a contract, I'll be here in San Diego, in February, then yeah, of course, I don't think there's much of a story as people are trying to make it, and they were trying to make it this whole week since Saturday.
Well, that's what I wanted to interrogate. So is there, my question is, why is this narrative being put forward of Chucky, number one, wants to make, El Tri, and his best chance theoretically could be to get loaned to Liga MX for the first half season and play that first half season with them, get picked up by the Mexican national team, play in the World Cup, and come back to San Diego FC, post World Cup, and play for both clubs. I mean, I've heard it, I've read it. Is there anything to it? Obviously, no one said anything there that necessarily contradicts the concept of a first half Liga MX loan in 2026. He would still be contracted. He'd still be happy here. The club's still planning on him, and so on and so forth. But I'm just curious, is there any concernometer here at all that Chucky is going to get loaned out in 2026?
I say no. I mean, it would be very low on my meter just because a couple things. Even if he tried to go to Mexico and try to get minutes, he still has to prove that he's healthy, that he can last an entire season and not get hurt, or even a half season and not get hurt. He still hasn't proven that. He played in I think it was 1,800 minutes this season. That was the most since the 2020 season with Napoli. I mean, it's been a while, and so number one, you got to prove that you're healthy. Number two, I think the ideal situation for Chucky Lozano is kind of doing a Carlos Vela, is coming in and dominating the league and showing your worth here, and he didn't really prove it. He didn't really have an Anders Dreyer season where, Dreyer got called up to his national team and he's playing and having minutes, but he didn't do that. He didn't stay healthy. He didn't really dominate the lead. He was okay. And if we want to do a little comparison here, first year Carlos Vela, he had I think 14 goals, and then the second year he absolutely dominated the league. So
MVP.
Exactly. So that's what I'm hoping for Chucky Lozano is he saw the league, he knows what he needs to do. He has to stay healthy and come out next year and dominate, and that's how you end up back with the national team.
Well, I could see a way where this happens because Mexican League and Liga MX is just a Wild West in a lot of their decisions, right? And as you mentioned, right, like you got to prove that you're healthy enough. I don't think you do in Mexico because it's a marketing thing, and this is exactly why. And Alex, did you follow the Mexican national team? I assume.
Yeah.
In 2010, when they put Guillermo Ochoa, the rising star of Mexico, a 23-year-old, just amazing trajectory. For a young man on the bench for a almost retired Conejo Perez. This is a tradition that Mexico has for World Cups. They go for the nostalgia act. They go for the residency in Vegas type players where, hey, they're going to sell sandwiches and bread because they're on the commercials because Chucky Lozano scored on Germany once. And that's why this is even a story, because this is the legendary Chucky Lozano who becomes a different person with the Mexican national team jersey on. And in order for him to do this, he needs to get out of San Diego, because how dare San Diego disrespect him? How dare San Diego disrespect a player of his caliber and not playing the full 90? Chucky FC over here saying if he started, his game would have been 5-0 and he would have celebrated in Mueller's face once again and blah, 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 just like in 28. Like, that's why this is even a story. Can it happen? Sure. I mean, sure. Like, it's not a 99.999. There's always something in there. Will it happen? It's hard for me to say that yes, because he's fine here. He knew that this was the mission. His choice was to come to MLS, where historically there hasn't been a single player outside of potentially Jorge Campos in his last season where he crossed the career of MLS and national team selection. there really hasn't been an active national team player to play in a World Cup for the national team in Mexico, and Chucky would be that first if he was to stay and be part of that roster. So, I mean, I see him staying. I see him being here for this next year. His family enjoys this. He likes the project. He likes everything overall. But yeah, I mean, he's going to have to step it up if he wants to Javier Aguirre's, consideration for the Mexico national team.
Well, the Velicom comparison, it's just tough. Vela's a different player, but
he was younger too.
Yeah, but there's no comparison. I mean, like in terms of impact to the club, there's no comparison. Let's wrap up with Dreyer. Let's hear from. What's our concern? They're not going to sell him, right? They're like, there's no chance, right? There's no chance. He's going back to Denmark.
Well, people are saying and speculating because our boy Chiva asked him point blank, like, "Hey, you're on the radar now. What is this going to look like?" Hear from Anders Dreyer himself.
With an amazing season you had, some teams overseas in Europe maybe knocking on the door to get you to sign for them. Are you open to that so soon after arriving in San Diego, or are you confident of staying another season here?
I have 2 more years in San Diego. I signed 3 years. But I always learned also in football, you never say never. So we don't know what will happen, and I don't know what will happen. And of course, it's a bigger decision. It's not only me, it's the club and what they want. So I think now I'm going to enjoy a little bit of a rest. And then, of course, in a week or two, I'm going to start thinking about football again. So, yeah, we'll see what will happen.
Dang. I mean, that was a lot more concerning than what Chucky had to say. I'll say that. I mean, in the twinkle in those beautiful blue eyes, oh my gosh. It was like, whoa, hang on.
Yeah, never say never in football.
Just looking into the abyss of like, oh, it was a nice year.
Plus, did you see as the question was being asked when he shot a look to the right, presumably to PR or somebody, somebody off stage right there? I was like, oh no, that was the tell, like the poker tell. Like he shot a look over there, like, hang on, are we talking about this? So that's interesting. I don't really want to walk down the thought experiment ladder too far, but so right there it is. There it is. Hey, am I supposed to talk about this? That look raises my concernometer to 3 for Anders Dreyer, but it also kind of raises a question. I mean, what an incredible season Anders had. Could that have been the best season of his career? I mean, it's the nature of football that Chucky could have the goals next year, and Anders could be the one that they're always, sticking to and trying to get stuck in against, and the space is there for somebody else, or a brand new 9 steps in and gets goals, and his numbers drop, and we're talking about, no, Dreyer's not having a worse year. He just doesn't have as many stats, like, could this be the sell high moment?
That's a good question, because
I'm sorry, guys.
This is
we were like, Chucky stays, yeah, the body language, and then just by that
this brought us down a little bit, because it was Dreyer's best season by far, and he was one of those people that came in, dominated, and at 27, can he be looking at a potential move somewhere else? Yeah, he could, but I just want more Dreyer. He's so fun to watch.
He had a Vela-like season. That was a Vela-style season.
Absolutely, and it's one of those one of the most likable players out there too. And if this is the time that that Tyler Heaps wants to cash in, he probably could if someone comes calling. And he's on the Danish national team now, and he's going to get looks, especially once you're in the World Cup platform. A lot of people are going to be looking for players down, during the summer transfer window, and it's like, oh, here comes Dreyer. Let's see what he's got. And yeah, it would hurt to see him in talks of going somewhere else because man, what a fun
You'd hate to
season
see
he
it.
had. Yep.
Look, you'd hate to see it, but Naomi Gurma went
Yep.
overseas, and at that point, my heart hardened just a little bit, and I've still got that kit, but I'm like, I thought Naomi Gurma would be the kind of player who would never leave a team. You'd never get rid of somebody like that, but the Chelsea comes calling with their millions, and a deal happens just like that. So I at some point, we here in San Diego are going to get it drilled down into our heads. Hey, folks, you're playing the world's game now. Nice job down there in San Diego, California, America. But over here, we got the juice. We'll take anyone that we want whenever we want them. And you'll say thank you very much for the cash transfer. Let's see if we can do it again. And that's the reality of it. We're not in the Premier League. We're not in La Liga. We're not in Liga MX. We are in the MLS. And there's a pecking order here. And we are playing the world's game now. So it can flow one way, and somebody can make an incredible name for themselves in San Diego. And it can flow the other way. And they can leave us for richer, greener pastures overseas. And it's going to happen. I'm hopefully not with Anders. I think this club is, as you heard Tyler Heap say, we don't expect a lot of turnover this year. And I think when you say that, you mean it. And the fact that Oni Valakari is coming back is a great sign, right? Because he's one of the most immediate decisions that had to be made. And that young man's going to be here for 3 more years, theoretically.
Yeah, and he had a club option for 2026, and it seems like the team is picking that up with a bit of with a buy option now. That's in the range of 1.5 euros. That's what the European gossip people are reporting. But it looks like he's going to stay till 2028. So with that price tag plus his salary, it's looking like you're going to need a little bit of TAM to take care of all that. But I think this is a pretty good move. I know I was very critical at the very beginning about Ani Belakari, but it was only because he was playing out of position. But he could do multiple things, and I really do like that. He can play pretty much anywhere in the midfield, be a false 9 when you need him to, and I think he fits this team and the everything that this team is about. It's not just playing one position; it's about playing many other ones. And he's been a great fit. He's been a really good, and he scored just like he scored the first home regular season game. He scored the first playoff home game, and we're gonna remember that like the Jake Cronenworth base hit against the Dodgers. Yeah, that's who I think of now. Jake Cronenworth, Ani Valakari. That's the player association now.
Yeah, I mean, he's an important player, and he actually, may have unfortunately spilled the beans himself after being asked, "Hey, are you going to be here next year?"
Do you want to stay another season here?
Yeah, actually, I just had a conversation with them, and I am expected to stay. I'm really happy to get to stay here. I've enjoyed this year. I'm looking forward for the next years. I think we still have a lot higher ceiling than what we showed this year, and I'm really happy to be a part of it in the future also. So I'm happy on my side to get to continue here, and I think the club is also happy with me to stay here, and I think we have good goals ahead of us, and we're looking forward for that.
Well, there it is.
Breaking news. Per that's what I'm saying, like per him?
Yeah.
Per source? Him?
Primary source, Oni Valakari. Oni Valakari is staying. That's good to hear. That's great to hear. And we're going to have to lean on Aunt Tam instead of Uncle Gam for this one, I guess. But all good to keep Oni in the hood. This is how crazy it is coming forward and why we've got a perfect setup to continue broadcasting the next couple weeks with the show. By the time we come back on the 11th, the Champions Cup draw will have taken place. We'll know our group. We'll know our opponents. We'll have an idea of where we might go. You know, the excitement of starting to think about other discount travel options. This is one that would be more fulfillable. And the very next day, December 10th, MLS free agency begins. So who knows? There could be a move by the time we're back on the 11th. And then the 18th, which will be our last show of the year before we take 2 weeks for Christmas and New Year's, that's the MLS Super Draft. So, like, literally, all this stuff is happening before we take a holiday shutter. And then you come back, you're a month away from Champions Cup. You're 6 weeks, 7 weeks away from Coachella Valley. And February 21st is the first home match. February 21st.
Oh man, it's so quick. And yeah, we should definitely hear some news on some of the option players that are on the bubble, right? Pretty soon, like within the next few days. That's Corey Beard. Valakari's already been picked up. Franco Negri, Annabelle Godoy, and Cisniega. So
if I can give you some source material here, I'm hearing that Franco Negri is going to be a no moving forward, as well as potentially Tomas Angel.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to know they were on the team in the last 2 months, so like seems right to me.
Tomas Angel wasn't really even. Yeah, he wasn't even on the starting match day roster anymore, really. And yeah. I think with that one, that's probably has to be a loan where he kind of disappears into the night, and that's it. That's about it.
I'll put it to you this way: one of the colleagues in the press box, who works for a big 4-letter company, plays a Football Manager, and it's the simulator for all these scouting networks and whatnot. I believe they chose San Diego, and he AI'd recommended because they needed to cut a spot. AI recommended Tomas Angel. So in real life and video game, it seems like there's a potential trend.
Understood. Well, with that, let's put a pause on the discussion for now. But we'll be back next week with Chromaniacs number 27. Getting into it. Champions Cup draw, MLS free agency, all the latest news that happens. The news is going to keep coming. The Cinderella season will never be forgotten. What a year it was. Could be in Fort Lauderdale right now.
We could have. Oh well, but it's all good.
The Vancouverites are taking over the hotels instead.
Mm-hmm. It was, by the way, so a comment did confirm the most geographically apart matchup for
it. Just
MLS.
had to be. So, it had to be. Like it's crazy, but at least it's a one-way trip. It's not a 4 or 5 match series or something. Just jetting back and forth. Hey Tony, what's going on with SanDiego.Futbol?
Well, we've been going nonstop. 2 balls and a mic. We're gonna come up with our end of the year awards. That's gonna come up on SanDiego.Futbol, and we do a silly little show, and that's our end of the year show, a pre-record. So you're gonna be able to vote soon for goal of the year in SanDiego.Futbol, player of the year, coach of the year, all these fun little categories coming up on SanDiego.Futbol. That'll be fun. Alex.
Yeah, and for me, I think Chromatic FC on Substack will be under construction for now. And then, but I do encourage everyone to subscribe. Go to Substack, find me Chromatic FC on Substack, sign up, and that way you'll be updated on all the new things that will be coming up pretty soon.
Well, for myself, I say, as always, follow us on Instagram at the Chromaniacs, where Terrible SDFC Memes is going to wake up one of these days. I figured he would just sleep like nonstop from Saturday night until maybe today. After all the hard work he's been putting in for the last few months. But our man is going to be back helping us out, keeping clips of this alive as we go toward the end of the year. It's just been incredible, the following that's developed. Also for myself, Padres Hot Tub continues apace. Winter meetings are coming up, and the Padres have signed a weird minor league reliever I'd never heard of. Or maybe I'd heard of once. I don't know. That's the kind of level of excitement we've had. But who knows? Maybe there'll be a trade. But we keep going. We keep going every single week. Breaking things down. Patreon.com/Padres Hot Tub is where you can get access to the really fun show we're doing, Banter the Show, with a new topic each week, and some really great stuff going on there. Check it out. Helps us out. Patreon.com/Padres Hot Tub. New episode of Crossing Streams will be coming out tomorrow with Chris Reed and I talking about Pluribus and the middle three episodes, episodes 4 through 6. Episode 6 coming out tonight. I'll be watching that tonight. We'll be talking about it tomorrow. You'll hear that conversation tomorrow. And with that, let's wrap up episode 26 of the Chromaniacs. Thanks. Give us that thumbs up if you missed it at the start, and you can give it to us at the end. It helps just the same. And a 5-star rating on radio. I call it radio right now. On podcast. It's not radio. On your podcast platform. That would also be appreciated. Don't look for us on radio, because we ain't there. We're right here with you. And until next time, vamos, SDFC.